Hi, it's me again, Colin Hall. I'm in the business of sharing wisdom with my son Steve. And the thing I want to share with you today is this very simple little tool that I think might help you with your own energy. Now, why would you need help with your energy? Well, very simply because what we discovered and what we share is that when your energy is high, things go better. You can almost fly when your energy is high. But when your energy is slumped, whoa, you're an accident about to happen. That's what I found with myself. And we found it over the years, and we share with people. Try and keep your energy high. Try and be positive. That's an old story. And then we made it simpler, we think, by using the metaphor of a battery. You can have a magnificent motor car with all the trimmings and all the pluses and minuses that new motor cars have got. But if you go down to the garage in the morning to start your car and the battery's flat, you can't go out. You're stuck. But if you've got a spark, if you've got a jumper lead, if you've got just an opportunity of a charge, a short, quick charge, then you can get into your car and go. And then as you travel, if you live fully all day, by the time you get home in the afternoon, your battery will be full. And tomorrow morning, it'll be full. If you don't spark it, you're not going to get it out of the garage. And if you do spark it and you don't get into it and drive and enjoy the day, tomorrow morning it'll be flat again. So in a desperate, sometimes sounds terrible to say desperate, in a serious attempt to help people charge their batteries, to keep their batteries fully charged, we realized that all you may need is a spark in the morning. So over the years, we've been playing with my journal and with sources of sparks. And what we put together is what we call our 10-minute battery charger. It sounds stupid, but it's been fun. And what the 10-minute battery charger is designed to do is to help you just get a spark, to start the day with something more than you had when you got out of bed. Start a day that in the middle of all this COVID stuff and in the middle of all this fear and in the middle of all this anger and in the middle of all this worry gets your battery charged. So I thought about it, and over the years I've experienced a few things that have helped me charge my battery. The first is, and the most important is, to think about people who, when I think about them, my energy goes up. Simple as that. And some of them have passed away. If I think of my grandmother, she was amazing. But when I think of her, I can't not have a good think. Sometimes they're people you've only known for a short while. Sometimes they're people you've known for 60 years. So what I found was that I thought about them. And then I found that it's no good thinking about people and just letting the thoughts go in and out of your head. You've got to write it down. There's something that happens magical when you take a thought and put it onto your journal. We call it a journal or a day book, or doesn't matter what you call it, but it's my book. It's me writing to me. So if I then write a name down and I stop to think about why I wrote that name down, where did we meet? How did we meet? Who else did we meet on the journey? What were the sad moments? What were the happy moments? Where did we sing together and dance together and laugh together? And then a story emerges. And every good high energy relationship contains a lovely story. So I write a name down, and I write 3 every day. And every day I think about 3 relationships that give me energy just to think about them. And if I can, I make contact with those people, even if they've passed away, and I send a mental message to them of love. I say, thank you for bringing energy into my life. Do you remember this, or do you remember that? I can't tell you what amazing places that's taken me to. So I thought of that idea. And then I have another idea, and some people call it a gratitude journal. But there are things every day that if I stop and think about them, if I stop and think about them, if I write them in my journal, I'm more grateful than I ever was before. So I write 3 things down that give me gratitude. And then every now and again, I'm aware of the fact that I live in a beautiful little home, but what's magic is what's going on outside it. Outside it, in the universe. And I'm sitting here and I'm not conscious of the magic of the wisdom, the magic of the universe sometimes. So I write down 3 things about what's happening outside my room, outside the window. And it's not just about Table Mountain, which is beautiful right close to me, and I've written that in my book. And it's not just about a squirrel that I watch cross the telephone line now. Amazing. The God-made squirrels that can walk across wire. And the birds and the trees and the magic of the universe. And so I write 3 things down each day that tell me something about we live in an amazing place. We live in an amazing universe. From the littlest things to the biggest things, from the sun and the moon and the sea and the sky and the mountains, to lizards and squirrels and birds. And not only that, but amazing things that happen out there. I was fascinated by so many things, and one of them the other day was it's autumn now, and when autumn leaves fall onto the ground, we want to sweep them up. But trees don't worry about sweeping up their leaves. The leaves are meant to fall on the ground, and they're meant to do things on the ground. And when you think about that, you sort of wonder. And then I was eating a rusk the other day, and there was some sunflower seed in it. And because I thought about it, I realized that I used to drive out to Rustenburg through hectares and hectares of sunflowers. And watching them in the morning, we went early, watching them slowly lift their heads towards the sun and to follow the sun. What sort of mechanism do you create that enables the big head of a sunflower to lift and then turn to follow the sun? So I have 3 things in the universe that cause me wonder for that day. And then another idea came up, and that was, what about my senses? You know, I've got tired eyes now. They're not as good as they used to be, and I've certainly got, some people say, a very tired brain. But I'm not sure that I use it as well as I could use it. So I'll give you one simple example. When you eat a rusk, it is a huge sensual experience. Not only do you taste it, not only do you smell it, but you feel it and you see it if you choose to. But on the other hand, you can take a rusk out of the packet, dip it in the coffee and stick it in your mouth, and that's it. But if you stop and think about what goes into a rusk, and what happens when you put a rusk into your mouth, and what is the link between your brain and your tongue and your brain and your jaws and your brain and your lips, it becomes a completely different opportunity for wonder, for joy. And that goes into my journal too. And then the last thing that I put into my journal is a very simple question, and that is, I look at myself in the mirror and I stop long enough to say, what is it that makes Colin different? Not better, not at all. What is it that makes me different? What have I studied? Where have I been? What have I learned? What do I do well? And what do I do damn badly? What is it that makes me unique and real? Just one thing. When I look in the mirror and I laugh and say to myself, yes, if you met yourself in the street, what would you think? So what I've done is I've put it into words for you, all 5 of those steps. And I call it the 10-minute battery charger. And I'd love you just to try it for a day or 2. But you must have the journal. It's no good thinking about those 3 names. It's no good thinking about those 3 gratitudes. It's no good thinking about those 3 amazing places, like the Swartberg Pass, or like watching the surfers in Muizenberg waves, or watching the squirrel cross the telephone wire. So it's down for you to try. There are no rules. There are no regulations. Nobody's going to mark your book. But just see what happens when you stop long enough, 10 minutes, to charge your battery and give it a spark. And then see what happens to the day. Try it. I hope it'll give you as much fun, enjoyment as it gives me. Bless you. Bye now.